Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Lines Podcast. Matt Brown, Stephen Andress, and no time for the pleasantries here. You're already a subscriber. You've already hit the button, so let's just get down to this. We woke up, and Stephen, I don't know about you, but I was not expecting to wake up to a one from CNBC of all places was the people that broke the news that, guess what? That all that litigation and everyone's, finger pointing and all the stuff between the PGA Tour and LIV, it's all fine and dandy because they came to an agreement to merge the DP World Tour involved in that as well. Now, listen, guys, there might be information that comes out after you listen to this. We are doing this really and truly as this news breaks and trying to give you some thoughts here on all of this. But, Stephen, we are really just kind of going off what we're getting trickling in right now, some of which is that the PGA Tour players did not know about this until they read about it on the Twitter machine, and apparently same case with the LIV guys as well.
This is insane, Matt. In my lifetime as a sports fan, I can't remember more of a 180-degree turn. I mean, we had interviews, we had press conferences with the commissioner of the PGA Tour talking about like morals and values, and did you ever have to be ashamed of being a member of a golf tournament? And now they are business partners. The first sentence of this press release on the PGA Tour website: the PGA Tour, DP World Tour, and the Public Investment Fund, which for those that don't know is the financial backing of the LIV Tour, today announced a landmark agreement to unify the game of golf on a global basis. Imagine saying that sentence a month ago as a golf fan. And there are so many ramifications here, including as a golf bettor, Matt, that we can get into it. And right now we're kind of speculating a little bit because we don't have the full details of all of this. But one thing that I want to note from the press release is that there is a line that says the new entity will work to ensure a cohesive schedule of events that will be exciting for fans, sponsors, and stakeholders. So that at least tells us, as a golf fan, there will be at least some working together between all of these entities to make what appears to be some type of global year-round schedule for golf.
Yeah, we're looking here, and it says, I'm now getting the letter that Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, has sent to the players, and really not much more than what's in the press release, so I'm sure they're feeling great about that. Notably, he says, I know you have many questions. Some additional items to include are that any pending litigation between the two parties is now done, so that's over with. We will conduct a comprehensive evaluation of LIV Golf and determine how to best integrate them team golf into the professional game. The 2023 LIV Golf schedule will continue as planned. We'll work cooperatively to establish a fair and objective process for any players who desire to reapply for membership with the PGA Tour or the DP World Tour following the completion of the 2023 season. So we are sitting here. Listen, Stephen, I hope more comes out here as to what these PGA Tour players, some sort of compensation package, some sort of something that comes out in all of this. Now, he did not mention this in his note to them, so you would have thought that maybe if that was in place that he would have done that. But again, just speaking here, you and I don't really know exactly what's happening, but can you imagine being one of the bigger name players on the PGA Tour and turning down these rumored 9-figure contracts, sticking your neck out, preaching how, the PGA Tour was the place to be, and this is how you do golf, and this is why I stayed here, et cetera, only for a year and a half later for that to be all for naught? I mean, I can't imagine how livid I would be waking up to this morning.
And the leader of your tour publicly saying on more than one occasion that this is the way that golf should be. That there shouldn't be guaranteed contracts, that you should have to play your way in, that they did change the format a little bit to try and protect their prospects coming out, giving some of the best players in college golf either a membership to the PGA Tour if they finish as the best, or members of the Korn Ferry Tour if they finish in the top 5. They made elevated events so that the best players on the PGA Tour could make more money, but it was not guaranteed money. And then you have also this whatever, TGL league that's going to be like in an arena that was supposed to be a partnership between Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, and the PGA Tour. That's still in the works. That was supposed to be another strategy to compete and make money for PGA Tour membership in the midst of LIV Golf giving out guaranteed contracts. And now it's all one big business globally. So what this means, I don't know what they're going to say, but I guarantee you that there are going to be some players on the PGA Tour who are basically glorified contractors who are promised a lot of things. I guarantee you there's going to be some strong feelings about this. We'll see. I think they need to be assured that this is better for their bottom line, that they're going to make money. But the other thing I want to talk about here, Matt, is the betting side of this, right? Because you and I are avid golf bettors. What's your first reaction to this? And again, we don't know how this is going to work, how often LIV players are going to be able to come back and play on the PGA Tour and vice versa. LIV golf odds are not readily available at most online sports books as we speak right now. I imagine something like this might make it easier to do so in the future, to get those officially sanctioned at sports books like DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, and Caesars. Right now, that's not the case. So what's your first reaction as a golf bettor to this news?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. We're just seeing this. Colin Morikawa finding out on Twitter. Mackenzie Hughes come out and say, "Oh, cool!" Finding out on Twitter, we did something we said we'd never do. So, like, these players,
not happy.
Yeah, they're not happy, and this is this does not seem like this is going over very well, at all. Here comes Michael Kim coming out saying that he can't believe this, etc.
One of the biggest golf reporters in the country, you saw him on the Full Swing documentary, Dan Rappaport said, he tweeted, PGA Tour didn't communicate this to players at all. They found out same time we did. Some anonymous quotes, quote, shocked and confused, quote, disgusted. They didn't tell us anything. Oh boy.
Yeah, this is just insanity. Yeah, from a betting standpoint, though, for us, I mean, listen, does this mean now we're going to get, data from the LIV Tour that we didn't get before? Are we going to be able to get actual advanced
PGA Tour
statistics
shot link going to go to LIV events now?
Right. Like, do we get all of that? Because, I mean, you would think if this is supposedly, everyone's merging here for the good of the game, and they're doing this because they want to make golf a global game and expand the popularity globally. Well, you can't have LIV can't be the B League Tour then at that point, where you still don't have the data. You still don't have, you still have all the janky graphics, and you can't find it on broadcast anywhere. So, I mean, this is going to certainly change things, I think, a lot from a betting standpoint, because if we do have all of that stuff and it is part of the PGA banner, whatever the new company is going to be called, then this is, for us, it gives us it does give us another thing to bet on. Like, look, I don't bet on the LIV stuff because I don't like taking just the leap of faith that I'm just guessing who's going to be playing well and guessing what courses fit these players, et cetera, et cetera. Like, if I actually have raw data, real good stuff to go in and be able to process and run numbers and do different things like that. I mean, look, at this point, if the PGA Tour has thrown their moral high ground out of the way, then I guess I will too and start betting this stuff. I mean, I wasn't betting it before because I was kind of doing my little, silent support, of the PGA Tour and everything they have going on. But, at the end of the day, if it's all about the almighty dollar, well, then I'm going to start betting it and try to make some of those almighty dollars, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the players are very upset, but they don't really have a choice. This is the only entity in global professional golf now. I mean, it's a global monopoly at this point. Now, from my perspective, from the betting angle here as an avid golf bettor, I share your opinion on the LIV side if they do get data and we get that available. I'm also kind of intrigued that if the fields become what they were before guys started leaving for LIV, and they are a little bit more robust, they are a little bit closer to the strength of a major championship field, then we're going to get better odds again. Because this year, with the LIV guys gone, we have had to bet numbers on guys that we typically wouldn't, who aren't that good of golfers, and we're getting terrible odds on them. And if you want to bet a favorite, then they're basically in that range where they're unbettable for us from our traditional strategy. Guys like Rory McIlroy, the Canadian Open, at 4-1. Jon Rahm, shorter than 4-1 at the Mexico Open. 3 guys shorter than 9-1 at some of these events, if the top 3 are in there with Scheffler as well. So if some of these LIV guys are coming back, that means more robust fields. That means as a bettor, we're getting better odds, more value for our money if we hit one of these outrights, or if you want a longer card, just more bullets in your arsenal. Guys that were, 35-1 in the past have been 20. I mean, Justin Rose and Shane Lowry are 20-1 this week at the Canadian Open. Before LIV guys left, that was not the case on players of that caliber.
Mm-hmm.
So that intrigues me because it's been more challenging for me as a golf bettor this week, discerning, is it worth betting some of these guys? And we might get better odds in that case. So the other side of this.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you. It's like mainly the biggest thing from a betting standpoint is just betting the LIV Tour in general if we get the numbers, and then two, if these guys are able to come back on and play the majority of these or play some of these other events and stuff, like we actually might get better odds on the better players. Because I mean, listen, we're going into an event this week right now in which Rory McIlroy is 5-1 to win it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like we were just not seeing that stuff 2 years ago on tour, and so if they are able to put some of these better players back in the field, well, at least we'll get a little bit better odds on some of these guys that we want to bet.
And my final thought here, because we're going to wrap up, we're going to have plenty of time to talk about this on future golf podcasts. My final thought is that there's a quote from Jay Monahan, the PGA Tour commissioner, in the release today, where he himself mentions the team golf aspect, which from a golf betting side of things also intrigues me a little bit. It may be another area of golf betting that we can dive into, maybe find value, a new development that the books are on an even playing field with us, trying to figure out how to set odds for a team golf aspect.
Yeah, this is, it seems like if anything, we're going to get additional things to bet on, which for bettors, I guess, can only be good. Now we'll see the fallout, and we'll see how this all comes down. I can't imagine being a PGA Tour player this morning. That would be,
man, if I'm a PGA Tour player, I might be getting guys together and talking about going on strike until they get guaranteed contracts at this point. I mean, like, what in the world?
I mean, seriously, this is just, I can't imagine being a Rory or a Morikawa or any of these dudes.
Scheffler, Rahm, McIlroy.
Scheffler, any of these dudes that turned down 9 figures to stick around and wake up and find out that it was for nothing. That loyalty not rewarded whatsoever. So that's
wild.
That's pretty brutal. But again, yes, as Stephen mentioned, we will have a lot more on this as more details trickle out here. Maybe we're missing something. Maybe there's something a little bit better in this for the tour players. We hope so, at least anyway. If you haven't already, guys, go in, subscribe, rate, review. We really appreciate all of that stuff. And go down. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. We can't promise we can answer them. we know we're trying to figure out stuff along the way, but if you have any questions, drop them in there. And certainly if we do have an answer or do have an opinion, we'll come in and talk about that stuff there as well. For Stephen, I'm Matt. Talk to you guys soon.